Now to the latest on the huge U.S. military buildup in the Middle East and the possibility of new airstrikes against Iran. The U.S. has two carrier groups in striking distance of Iran while both sides negotiate. And President Trump is setting a deadline for the deal and says, quote, really bad things will happen if no deal is reached. Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent and Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan is following all this for us. Margaret, good morning. So what is the likelihood that the United States strikes Iran this weekend, and why is there so much saber rattling from the president at this moment?
Well, good morning, Vlad. There are multiple options, including joint strikes with Israel on Iran's ballistic missile sites that have been offered to the president. But he said he's going to take 10 to 15 days to decide whether Iran's next offer to the U.S. is good enough to accept. So, Vlad, diplomatic sources tell me that this timeline could be even shorter than that because the president previously bombed Iran this past summer while we were in the midst of talks with them. U.S. officials are insisting that this latest round of gunboat diplomacy is leveraged to get Iran to offer concessions. We know yesterday Iran did warn any first strike by the United States would be catastrophic and said they don't want war. They want to keep talking.
All right. So, Margaret, what are you hearing about the talks that are happening in Geneva, the progress or perhaps lack thereof?
Well, Vlad, those talks were pretty brief. They were limited, just around 4 hours Tuesday in Geneva. Iran verbally presented unique proposals, according to my sources, regarding their nuclear program. They also offered potential investment deals to the United States. Keep in mind, Iran wants relief from U.S. sanctions. They've offered America access to oil and gas fields. They've offered interest in buying American equipment like aircraft. And they're putting together a written proposal that they'll soon present to the Trump team. But keep in mind, Secretary Rubio and Israel's prime minister previously said a nuclear-only deal isn't enough. A meaningful one should restrain Iran's ballistic missiles and its militias in the region. But President Trump himself has been less explicit. He set one bright red line: no nuclear weapons. And he has recently tamped down all those threats he was making to regime leaders who brutally repressed protesters in recent months. Yesterday, a senior regional official told me the U.S. is being urged not to attempt regime change, but rather to change the regime's behavior through this diplomacy. So, big picture, these talks are an acknowledgement that Iran's nuclear ambitions were not, in fact, totally obliterated last summer in those American strikes. There are 40,000 American personnel in the Middle East, and the president is weighing the risk of a regional war along with whether Americans would support even a very limited military action.
All right, all eyes on the Middle East this weekend. Margaret Brennan, as always, my friend, thank you very much. And on Face the Nation this weekend, Margaret will welcome a bipartisan panel of governors from Kentucky, Kansas, Ohio, and Indiana. That's Sunday here on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus and CBSNews.com.